Okay, that brings us to 9.0 discussion items. Woo, we can finally talk about something else.
Yes.
Well, I'm modifying my agenda here on that. Okay. Discussion items, I have it here somewhere, I'm sure. So basically, we got a load of policies up for discussion. And for some reason, Microsoft Word has decided it wants to be the bane of my existence and has messed up two of my policies that I put together, policy changes that I went to put together. Specifically CBA, CBC, those things are cosmetic if you're looking at the packet. But DA, the word messed it up. So in there it reads, to provide adequate resources to, and then a bunch of words, and then the last three words are support student achievement. And so it should read, to provide adequate resources to support student achievement. It just doesn't show the little red line through those words. So I'll have to make sure we have that fixed by the time that we come up to the next board. So is there any of these policies in the discussion items that anybody would like to discuss? Most of these are straight up CASB core policy recommendations.
Just because they don't have something in theirs, they rescind a policy, why we rescind?
Okay, so they, if you read the policy audit that we had done a couple of years ago,
Right.
one of their big statements was, if you have a policy that only recites verbatim CRS, don't have a policy.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at BA, CA, there's OBB, AEC. Actually, AEC is no longer required because the reporting requirements to the public have changed by law. So there's a whole bunch of things that, if you're just reciting the CRS, don't have. And most of these are just that. Most of these rescissions are is that it, rescissions? Are that. There is one thing I want to talk about, and it's AER. And so this is the regulation to the accountability committee policy. And it says basically that we're going to appoint members to the DAC. Well, first of all, we're consolidating. There used to be a policy, section of the policy about DAC and a section of the policy about SAC. Don't worry about that, I'll explain it to you later. It's not applicable anymore. Okay. And there's CASB has an option of combining the DAC and the SAC for schools smaller than 1,000. That's essentially the way we've been operating, but our policy doesn't read that way. And it says in there that you have to appoint a certain mix of 3 and 1 and 1 and all that other stuff. But it says in there that we appoint them for 1 year, and then they vote on the chair who serves as 1 year. And it seems to me that if we have a year where it's difficult for us to get people who want to be on the DAC, then we can just simply not have a DAC that year. Whereas if we appoint members to the DAC for 2 years, but half of the board every other year, then we'll always have that continuity and overlap. So that's something I wanted to talk to you guys about and see if that is something that you're interested in, and if so, we can make the changes to that policy for next month. But I just need to know whether or not to try to waste my time doing it if nobody was into that.
So if I understand what you're saying is, just using a round number, is we're gonna have 10 people on the combined committee, and we'll appoint 5 1 year for a 2-year term, and then go 5 more for a 2-year term. So the people are serving 2 years, but every year there'll be some that drop and some come on.
Right. With the chair serving for 1 year, so that every time you get a new influx of people, they pick a new chick.
Similar to how our board is formed.
I know you're not on the dock anymore, Terry, but your
No,
thoughts?
I agree, I actually, because it is so hard to get, I mean, I've been on the DAC like 6 times in the last, I don't know how many years.
Right.
It is so hard to get people to serve on the DAC, and then you get people like me that rotate through. So, I think that's really, I think that the time limit on the DAC really kind of sucks.
Well, I mean,
Somebody-
just
you get
because you're
somebody
done,
good, you
just
can't
because
do
you're
it.
done in a year, it doesn't mean you can't go in for another year. It's just you gotta be appointed every year. You don't have
Right,
to drop off.
exactly, so here, save some paperwork, do it every 2 years, and do it half and half, so you do get that consistency through.
So, Mr. Superintendent, how do you feel about that?
I think having the alternate is a good idea, and people coming in, alternating, and people coming in know that it's a 2-year commitment.
Chairperson, just because you redo it every year doesn't mean they can't be the
Right.
same
No,
one
that's
for
how
the
it's
next
who they
20
elect.
years.
That's who they
Okay.
elect.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. You get a good one, you don't want to get rid of them.
So it sounds like you might be able to do some work on
Okay, so is there any, okay, so I will, are we feeling that that's where we wanna go?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll redline those changes for second read. Okay, is there any other policies in discussion items that anyone wants to discuss individually?
it. I think the mileage should say IRS and leave that alone, and not leave it empty, whatever the board determines.
Oh, is that what it said?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Struck out the IRS.
okay, that must have been the third boo-boo.
That was a CASB, doesn't have the IRS rate, and we have it, and it's struck out.
Yeah, I agree.
I would just leave it set.
I probably swapped
Okay.
the order that I did the change. Which policy is that?
And looking for that, right?
DEKC?
Financial.
You're ahead of
Yeah,
it.
that's it. It should be,
No, it's,
it would be authorization.
Yeah, I think we should just have the IRS rate and not try to set our own.
BIE, school board member compensation expenses.
there it is,
that the
yeah, I
one?
think it's.
Oh, BIE,
Yeah.
okay.
Is that
Oh,
the
you
one?
checked
Yeah, I think that's the one it
That's
is.
just his compensation.
Is everyone okay with that change?
I mean, it should be, KC has the same thing.
Yeah.
One's for staff, one's for us.
Okay.
Right, that's what I'm looking
Is
for.
everybody,
DKC.
right, so is everybody cool with just having the
Yeah,
IRS
both
rate
of
and
them.
for us not trying to
Yeah.
figure out our own rate?
Yep.
Okay, because next thing you know, Terry will be on the payroll and will be paying 99 cents a mile instead of 54.
It's gone up.
It's 49 now.
Not on my contract. My contract is 54. Anyway, all right. Any further discussion on discussion items?
On CB, I know it's on school superintendent, you're saying you don't need it. I would just recommend that there is a policy somewhere that does reference that there is a school superintendent.
Yes, I think it's actually,
State law.
no, it's right, it's like the next policy alphabetically in the list or something like that. It's really close to it.
As long as it's there.
It is there, I saw it, because I was like, wait a minute, we don't need a policy saying we need a superintendent, but it's there, I saw it.
And then on your financial reporting, I was trying to find.
It's
this.
CBA, CBC,
It's financial.
powers and qualifications and responsibilities of
Okay.
superintendent. Okay, sorry.
That's okay, I'm looking under the financial reporting. It
Mhm.
is DABE.
Mm-hmm,
And I was trying to look and see number 7 that was added, and I know
Yeah.
it's in CASB,
mm-hmm.
but I went to other district websites, and I don't see any other districts putting that on. So it caused me to wonder if CASB's out of date on that one.
Mm,
And remember when we had the gentleman on the phone from CD about what
Mr.
should be on the Oberg?
Oberg. I'm gonna start with
Everything we had on our website was fine. And we don't have that. Remember that?
that. Oh,
And in
yeah.
fact, they were trimming down what was required, and
Mhm.
we decided we'll just keep it at the higher level.
And I don't have it printed out for me. What was number 7 again?
Actual expenditures, including salary and benefit expenditures reported by job category, specific in the chart of accounts, at the district level and the school site level.
Okay.
We
So,
have that in the budget.
have you
but I don't-
consulted Mr. Oberg on that?
I don't believe, no, I didn't. I don't believe we have to by category though. Cindy? Oh dear God.
Facebook.
Tell
Let's
my
replay
kids
that,
good night, that's all.
Cindy?
So why don't,
Well, we can look into
we'll
that.
wait until we get some feedback from Mr. Ober as to whether or not that's,
Yes.
I saw her face illuminated from afar.
Yes.
But
I can, I'll ask him.
and
Well, look what time it is, I tell my kids good night every night. I know they're all grown and out of the house, but
Good mom.
apparently.
Well, we're talking about financial administration.
are we still live?
Yes, ma'am.
So DABE.
Never turned it off.
Give Aaron Oberg a call tomorrow.
Okay, I'll do that, yes, sir.
We will make that.
Nothing good.
And so we'll bring your second read on it.
Yeah, just let me know what you get. All right, anything else? Okay, so for the record, these were done while I was on travel in Philadelphia at nighttime, so I was not out eating Philly cheesesteaks, I
I was
was
bored to death.
doing,
Getting bored, yeah, right.
okay.
So we make a motion for discussion?
No, this is good, discussion.
No, so, are there any, is anyone opposed to taking any of these policies forward for second reading? Okay, silence and confers consent. That brings us to 10.01, grievance disposition. Do I have a motion relative to grievance disposition?
Action item?
Yep, that's our new, that was our action item we added.
B,
Yeah, so make a motion to either accept or reject.
No, now you gotta pick one, dude.
Oh, I so make a motion that we reject the grievance as presented.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay, any discussion? No, we're rejecting the grievance.
Right, that grievance.
Yep, that's the only grievance we
I
read
just
tonight.
wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
and did you get the explanation of that? Okay. All right, is there any discussion anyone would like to have regarding the grievance? Basically, if we vote to reject the grievance, we find that on the date the grievance was filed, there was not a material violation of policy, therefore the board cannot address anything further. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Allen,
Aye.
Ms. Combs,
Hi.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Swayze,
Aye.
and Mr. Underwood.
Aye. Okay, that brings us to 10.01B, the first non-renewal listed in the packet. Do I have a motion to approve or reject the non-renewal of the first non-renewal recommendee in the packet? With the reminder that if there is no motion, that is essentially a rejection of the non-renewal. Double negative. It's a rejection of the non-renewal. Status quo stands with no vote. Do I have a motion to approve or reject the first non-renewal person listed in the packet? I will make a motion to approve the non-renewal of the first person listed in the packet. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Allen,
Aye.
Ms. Combs,
Nay.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Swayze,
You're exactly right. Exactly what I was thinking. Aye.
Mr. Underwood,
Doesn't matter what you say. No.
Aye. That means that the first person listed in the packet is non-renewed. Brings us to 10.01C. Do I have a motion to approve or reject the second non-renewal in the packet?
I make a motion to reject the second renewal in the packet.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion? Call for the vote, please. Remember, your vote is to reject the non-renewal.
okay, Mr. Allen,
No, that's not the motion, sir.
You got it
Yes.
backwards.
He made a motion to reject the non-renewal.
Let me say reject the renewal.
Reject the non-renewal. Okay.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
So,
Yeah.
I make a motion to amend my motion.
Yes.
I make a
Or amend my
motion to
motion.
amend my motion to reject the non-renewal of the second one in the packet.
That's what I thought the motion was, sir.
It wasn't, I didn't,
I will
Okay.
second the amendment.
okay,
Okay.
so,
So the vote is to reject the non-renewal.
right.
reject,
That means if we vote aye, we are supporting their continued employment. If we vote nay, we are supporting the recommendation of non-renewal.
Right.
Is that opposite of what we just did on?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
That's why I did it.
That's why I'm taking the time to try to explain that,
Thank you.
okay? So if you want this employee to be retained in the district, you vote aye. If you want this employee to be non-renewed, you vote nay. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Allen,
Nay.
Ms. Combs,
Nay.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Swayze,
Hey,
Nay.
Aye.
and Ms. Underwood, nay. We have 3 nays and 2 ayes.
That's correct. The non-renewal carries. That's, the logic is killing me. Is that right? The non-renewal carries. Okay. All right,
That was in both cases, correct?
correct. We just did the logic backwards on the, I don't
It's
understand what
almost
I
too
just.
confusing for me.
Yeah, it is just,
You should
Both-
have done it the same way.
Both employees are non-renewed per your recommendation, Mr. Superintendent. That brings us to 11.01, the superintendent's contract. Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's contract?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Um,
This is not your vote, this is just a motion to discuss.
To discuss, not vote.
Correct.
I second.
Okay, thank you. Discussion. So, and I hate to do this to you again, but I'm gonna lead off. When I play baseball, I always let off for some reason, but I don't like to do it here, but I feel it's necessary. And we've all been, okay, maybe not all of us, I know at least 3 of us here have been contacted multiple times regarding the superintendent's contract. And, most of it's not good stuff, right? Oh, you're paying it too much and all this kind of stuff. Well, I'm a numbers guy and I ran the numbers, okay? As it currently stands, our superintendent is the 128th highest paid superintendent in the state of Colorado. Which means he's less than the halfway mark, okay? And so we're not overpaying. I don't know why everybody thinks we're overpaying. He's well within half of the standard deviation of the mean superintendent contract in the state. Even with the raise, the bump to 105, he's still within 1/2 of a standard deviation. He just goes from one side of the mean to the other with this new contract.
He also has 2 jobs.
Okay? And that is a factor as well. And quite frankly, if you do my math, the way I look at it, I think we underpay the man at 105 for doing 2 jobs. But that's me personally, and that's not the board's feeling. I can't speak for the board. I can only speak for myself. So, he has not had a raise since he became superintendent. Stop me if I get a fact wrong, please, sir.
Or in the other position prior to.
Or in other position prior to. Were he to receive a 3% raise per year, which is what a teacher makes in a step roughly on average, depending on where on the scale you are, he would be making more than the 105 that we are offering. And as part of that contract, he's agreed not to take an automatic raise during the term of his contract. I don't know how you fall on that, but how many people are willing to sign up for a job knowing they will not get a raise for 3 years? It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer out loud. Now, why are we giving him a new contract? Well, first of all, it was his idea. And second of all, what we're really doing is just guaranteeing him another 2-year contract at the end of this contract. But we're doing it contractually by cutting off the last year and giving him 3 years. And I know that's a little bit confusing to people, especially after that last vote. But that's all we're really doing is guaranteeing him a 2-year contract at the end of his current contract. So the board, and this is where I think I can speak for us because of a marathon executive session last meeting, the board thinks he's doing a good job and we want to retain him. Well, how do you retain people who have the option of going somewhere else? You pay them more. We think that that basically by every metric that you measure a district, this district is improving. Do we have our faults? Yes. Do we need to fix some things? Yes. But by the metrics, we are improving. We are increasing our test scores. We are raising our, what's the term? Needs improvement, the school
Performance framework.
Performance framework rating. And we're putting more money in the bank. Every year, these things are getting better. So the board thinks he's doing a good job, and we want to retain him. And so that's why we've offered him this contract. And that's my position. And now we have it on the record. So if anybody in the community asks you to justify this, I would refer them to the YouTube recording about 3 hours and 15 minutes in.
We stopped it at the executive session.
Oh, you did?
Did we? I hope so, because we didn't want to.
Anyway, so is there anyone else that would like to say anything about the superintendent's contract, or have a question or comment, or otherwise info?
Great job, Dr.
I was gonna, my son went in this district since he was in 5th grade. So that's a 12-year, or not, 7-year span, and this will be the 8-year. And I can honestly agree and firmly say that the district is in a better place now than it has been in the past. And in my mind, it only makes sense that when you have somebody that is helping you get better, that you keep that person. And that's my spin on it, is we want to keep those that are helping us grow and become a better district.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, sir? Ma'am? Gentlemen? Call for the vote, please.
Ms. Underwood, can I have a clarification? Is this to accept or just to discuss the contract?
This is an action item. We are approving the superintendent's.
So now it's
Okay.
vote
Wrote that down, okay. I did.
I'm sorry, my little soapbox kind of confused things. I'll remove it.
Mr. Allen,
Aye.
Ms. Combs,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Swayze,
Aye.
Mr. Underwood.
Aye. Okay, that brings us to 11.02, 2018 to 2019 academic calendar. I have a motion to approve the 2018-2019 academic calendar.
I so move that we approve the 2018-19 academic calendar.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So we tasked your calendar committee to go off and do their calendar committee duties.
Yes.
And their result was, it was reached. Everybody's happy?
Yes.
Nobody, there's nobody that's like ready to throw their
No.
shoe at me as I walk out the door?
My understanding from the report from the meeting, it was fairly reasonable compromise conversation on a variety of things. And as you'll notice, the biggest change is going to be fall break, having a week off has been removed. So the staff will work on a Monday, the conferences, then the following day. And I really don't know what that indication are. They'll have school on a Tuesday, sorry.
Mhm.
School on Wednesday morning, conferences Wednesday night, and then Thursday during the day, but stop at 1.
Ah.
That's the compromise between the two
Oh,
sides.
that was a good compromise.
Yeah.
See?
So one group gets
That's
their
the representative
afternoon,
republic
and the other group gets their
concept,
morning.
working in action.
Yes,
Love it.
and so we'll see how that goes, but that's really was a good compromise there. And then they did not want to go past the break, and that's why you see that we traditionally been graduations on the Saturday of the holiday weekend.
Got it. Any other questions, comments on the academic calendar? Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Allen,
Aye.
Ms. Combs,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Swayze,
Aye.
Mr. Underwood.
Aye. Brings us to 11.03, revise the administrative regulation, GBKR, staff concerns, complaints, and grievances, temporary approval. Last month, this is second read. Do I have a motion to approve GBKR?
I make a motion to approve regulation GBKR.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Discussion?
Another example of red lines not showing up.
Seriously? I'm gonna write a letter of complaint to Bill Gates. This is ridiculous. Anyway,
But remember, we worked on the language?
we did.
Yeah.
Um,
No noticing no red lines.
Yeah.
But the language is what was captured from that.
Okay, but they're not in red.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And it's correct now.
So,
Yes.
for the people in the audience, what this does is it tries to put in timeframes in the grievance process so that a grievance doesn't hang out there for 6 months. It gets addressed sooner, and requires some initiative on the part of the grievant. All right, any further questions, comments, discussion? GBKR, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Allen,
Aye.
Mrs. Combs,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Swayze,
Aye.
Mr. Underwood,
Aye. Brings us to 11.04, board policy, CCC core staffing. I have a motion to approve CCC.
I make the motion to approve policy CCC.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I think Danielle got it there first, but that's just my opinion. My opinion. All right, any comments, questions, discussions on CCC? Remember, this is just the policy, not the regulation. Hearing none. Call for the vote.
Mr. Allen, Ms. Combs,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Swayze,
Aye.
Mr. Underwood.
Aye. Brings us to 11.05, administrative regulation, CCC-R, core staffing. Do I have a motion to approve CCCR?
I make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion, please. So this is actually the meat of it, where he lists the numbers, and the policy we just approved previously was just, hey, have a matrix, and this is a matrix. Okay, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Allen,
Aye.
Ms. Combs,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Swayze,
Aye.
Mr. Underwood.
Aye. Brings us to 11.06, revised board policy CCA organizational chart. Do I have a motion to approve CCA?
So move we approve CCA.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
I do have a quick question here. How come the athletic director isn't an administrator? Right? Am I reading that right? The A team is across the top, right? Principals, director,
Right.
and then our athletic director is way down.
Working under the principal.
Work directly reports to the principal.
Right.
Stipend
So-
position.
It is, that's why?
It's a
That's
stipend
my
position.
question, that's why.
Am I correct with that, Dr. Schmidt?
It is a stipend position, but I don't know if one's related to the other.
It is a stipend position. It's only, will only be considered administrators if they have administrative credential, and therefore we ask them to act in that way. And a credential, the real reason why you have to have one is if you're gonna do discipline of a student that involves suspension. Because a non-licensed, a non-administrative licensed individual cannot suspend a child.
That answers my question. Thank you. No, it just,
And the AD used to be on the A team, but because they had classes during the day, they couldn't attend the meetings. We'd have to provide coverage for a little bit, and then if meetings went longer than he had available the prior
Right.
one, so.
I was asked the question, I'm like, oh,
Sure.
I don't know.
And the big change was adding payables from our last meeting. We
Yeah.
talked about payables.
Awesome. I probably should have asked last one. Okay.
You good? Any further discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Combs?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Swayze?
Aye.
Mr. Underwood?
Aye. I'm sorry, I was distracted there, squirrel. That brings us to 11.07, 2018-19, board meeting schedule exhibit BE-E. Do I have a motion to approve BE-E?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Discussion. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Combs?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Swayze?
Aye.
Mr. Underwood?
Aye. That brings us to 11.08, revised administrative regulation GBGG-R. This is a temporary approval on first read. Okay, do I have a motion to approve GBGG-R?
Make a motion to approve GBGG.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Sir, why is this necessary to be approval temporary? first
Right,
read?
that's what I was gonna.
An ironic thing is we actually have a leave request form that we require all staff if they're gonna be out, and they know this prior, not if I'm sick and I can't get in. And it's called a leave request. However, there's no authority in policy right now that we can actually deny a leave request. And there are reasons why we sometimes have to, because somebody may be wanting to just take a personal day, not a medical issue, they're not sick. And we already know we have, say, 2 or 3 other out of the district, we don't have subs to cover, and it can interrupt, basically interfere with the education of our kids. It'd be nice to be able to say, you know, we just don't have enough subs. Can you try to take your personal day at another time? And so that's what the language is sharing, and then if they choose to take the day off anyway, or submit it anyway, or not show up, then the language at the bottom says they will be docked for that day. So if you're denied, you still take it off. We accept 99% of the requests, and I think we ran into our first one this past year, where somebody actually asked in advance, that the principal said, we're short on subs, and then the next day, they started on, you know, the whole, you guys know, the commercials of like, I'm starting to feel sick on Wednesday, and they had requests for Friday, and then Thursday, they're feeling a little worse, and ironically, they couldn't come in Friday because they were sick, and that was the day that they had asked.
How's this gonna take care of that situation out there?
So they have to put it in, they have to submit it in advance.
Right.
And so then therefore we can say no. So the consequence is, in this case, is they would have been docked for that day.
Okay. Good enough.
Is this in line with other districts as well?
Yes, and actually, we're a little more lenient. Other districts want that form in before, and even if I'm out in the evening before, unless we have an automated system, larger districts have it automated, and that's their version of a request process. But it is. But right now, we don't have any, no, you can't authority in our policy. So it's in why are we doing a leave request?
Now, would it, all the leave requests go through you or the principal over here?
Yeah, so they
Or
go through
would
the
they go to the head of the
principal,
department?
and then the super, or the head of the department, and the superintendent also signs off on it. So that's why I put in there that I would have the final, or the superintendent would have the final decision, especially if there was a dispute. Let's say the employee's like, hey, I wouldn't take this off, you guys get subs, I just don't think they're willing to. They can actually come and share that with me, and then I can be the one to say, you know what, you're right. We
So
don't
they
have
return
anybody
the
taking off
original-
Friday, and we have the sub, so.
They return the original request into the head of the department, however, you would still have the final say to approve it.
Yes, that's the current routing.
Okay, thank you.
Now, if they're sick, this isn't gonna play. You just, because those
'Cause, yeah.
scanners, they come back and then they fill it out for the record to be on file if they were sick.
And I believe you added that they would have to have a doctor's note in that scenario, correct? They would have to submit one.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and
discussions.
to be
Yeah.
quite honest with you, we would be a little lenient on that. That's more if it seems suspicious, like,
Or excessive,
Right.
okay.
yeah, if they're not gonna be honest and just, because they can take a personal day, period. They're all personal days.
Okay.
So they don't even have to tell us they're going to a doctor, but our form currently has like a sick leave or this or that. So I think we need to revise our form as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they're all accounted for in the
Because they're
same
all
manner,
accounted for in the same manner.
Yeah,
But right now, if I check sick, and then I'm seen out gallivanting at somewhere,
it just loses.
it's kind of like.
if there's no purpose in listing the reason,
Right, because they're all the same. They're all
then why
personal
does the
days.
form provide the option for reason?
We'll change that.
There's
So,
one option where it could be different,
Yeah, there's one option.
and that's FML.
Oh,
FMLA
yes.
has, that's probably why, FMLA has about 6 different designations.
I only know of one, and that's not applicable right here, so what does FMLA mean?
FMLA is family medical leave absence.
Oh, okay, all
And
right.
it can either be intermittent or a full length.
Yeah.
So if you were to take intermittent FML, it would be FMLS, or FLS, which would be FL6.
The other thing we do have on there is that they're gonna take a personal day, but we're sending them like a site visit, so they don't get docked. So they check that as, I'm gone, yes, but
On
it's
the
been
advice
approved that
of-
you're sending me on a PD trip or something.
Okay, so it doesn't count against their days.
Right, but it's, again, it's a record thing because they aren't there, but you have to count for why they weren't there.
Okay.
And jury duty,
All
that's
that
another item
rest,
on
all
there.
that.
So we
When
will
are you gonna
revise
redo
it.
the, when are you gonna revise the
An
form?
equivalent job.
As soon as this is approved, because it goes in effect, if you guys approve it tonight, then Cindy and I will have fun.
I know you're gonna blame, tell Cindy, Cindy, take.
I
No,
was
no,
on
no.
my phone.
Is the
We'll do
form,
it together.
is the form the exhibit that goes with the
It
regulation?
just says they
I
can't
got
fire
that.
you because, or.
It's not even an exhibit,
Or
yeah.
immediate cancel.
It's in the staff handbook.
Okay.
So you don't need to bring that forward then, sir?
So,
Sounds good to me.
if I can, on what your question is, the process now, because what we ran through, is after every board meeting, anything that's been approved policy-wise, I will be emailing all staff saying the following policies have been approved. So that will happen tomorrow for any that were approved, and that's how we disseminate the staff. And then on this particular one, we don't see staff again until April 2nd or 3rd. I should know the date, I know it's a Tuesday, so I don't remember what the date is. So by the time, before they come back, they will have that form in their email, and then we'll have the new set of copies in the buildings and in the departments.
So you make Cindy work more.
Actually, it'll probably be Irene making the copies and Hannah making the copies.
Because Cindy will be on the phone.
She'll be calling the accountant. She'll be on the phone calling the accountant.
I'm making the phone call to Aaron.
Okay, any other further discussion on GBGGR? Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Allen? Ms. Combs? Aye. Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Swayze?
Aye.
Mr. Underwood?
Aye. Brings us to 11.0, information updates. I'm assuming we've all read and gurgitated, not regurgitated, these information updates. Oh, there he is. I know, TJ has proof that I read his update and gurgitated it. So, anybody have questions, comments?
I have one question, TJ, sir. We're doing the gym floor every day it's being used? Did I read that right in your update?
So I said a week late.
With the scrubber you talking about?
Correct.
We're not doing it daily, no.
That it's
The
used.
floor experts said twice a week max.
Okay.
They said, no matter what kind of coat you put on there, if you keep putting water on it, it will get through. So,
Thank you, sir.
trying to do this gym twice a week, and we've done the old elementary gym, we've done that once this week already.
And we're raffling off rides on
The big Zamboni one, right?
Buffer Road.
Do you walk
with a
behind
horn,
it
too.
or
Buffer Road.
or drive it? I mean, do you walk behind it or do you just sit?
it. You stand behind it.
Anything else? I'm sorry, I'm a little not here right now.
No.
All right, that brings us to 13.0, other business. Do we have any other business? Sir? You're looking at me like you have other business, or I have my glasses on.
You have your glasses
You have
off.
your glasses on.
There was something I was gonna tell you that.
See? I was right.
Related to that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Anyone? All right, that brings us to 14.0 adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Yeah, I didn't think so. All right. Good night, everybody.